Hey, what's up everybody? In this video, we're going to take a look at Joe Gardner at skill level 4, 5, and 6. I do have another video that covers Joe Gardner at skill level 1, 2, and 3. In that video, I do cover some of the strategies, also Joe Gardner's stats. So if you're interested in seeing Joe Gardner's stats and also some of the strategies that I used at the lower levels, definitely check that out. Especially if you are planning to use Joe Gardner at the lower levels, you definitely should check out that video first before investing in Joe Gardner. But for this video, I do want to focus on skill level 4, 5, and 6 and show you some of the demonstration and the abilities and to see if it's worth it to invest in Joe Gardner or not. The main difference between skill level 4, 5, and 6 for Joe Gardner is the skill range. At skill level 4, the skill range is going to be large. At skill level 5, the skill range will be extra large. And finally, at skill level 6, the skill range is going to be extra large. The skill range is in reference to the thickness of the line that's going to be cleared diagonally when you activate the ability. So if you are using Joe Gardner, just ensure that before you activate the ability that center area has a lot of Tsum saved up. What could also be useful is if you have some magic bubbles handy to speed up the animation, especially when you are not in fever. Those magic bubbles will help you clear the Tsums a lot faster. If you haven't noticed yet, but if you are not in fever and you make a really long chain, it takes a really long time for the screen to clear out that chain. But if you have a magic bubble, it will completely finish that clear right away. So you definitely should try to smash those magic bubbles when you're not in fever and have a long chain being cleared. Another strategy that you could use when you are using Joe Gardner is keep your eye on the skill button, would be like where the charge bar is. If you are about to be fully charged and you just need to clear a couple of Joe Gardners to activate it, you may want to focus on the top right hand of the screen and try to clear Tsums there instead of anywhere else. And you could also clear the bottom row as well. And the reason for that is if you keep your eye on the bottom row, especially on the bottom left hand corner, nothing gets clear there, even at skill level 6. So what that means is that if you have a gap there, it's okay. And if your bar is about to be full and you're not 100% sure if it's going to be full or not, but you don't want to mess with the center of the screen because you want to maximize your chain, you could always try to clear the bottom left or the top right hand corner because those areas won't be impacted by the ability. Now, this gameplay that you're watching is on the lower end. It's lower scores compared to the higher score. So you could really compare later the lower score versus the high score. For skill level 4, I got 2,422 coins. Skill level 5, I got 3,476 coins. And at skill level 6, I got 3,720 coins. So these are more on the lower end, but even though they are on the lower end, they're still okay. I definitely would prefer 22 over Joe Gardner because 22 gets you more coins. And you could get a lot of higher scores as well, and the pairing of the Tsum seems better for me at least, so I prefer to use 22 over Joe Gardner. But now let me show you another game demonstration, and these scores that I got were a lot higher compared to the other gameplays that you just saw. This is on the higher end now. For Joe Gardner, I did test to see which strategy would be better. So two things that I did test was to spam the ability right away, regardless if the screen is full or not. And then secondly, I did test to see if it's worth it to wait a couple of seconds, even though if my ability is full before I activated the ability. And the results were very clear that when you activate the ability right away, it doesn't necessarily get you a lot of chains and a lot of coins. Therefore, it wasn't the best strategy to use. What did work the best was for me to wait a couple of seconds and make sure that the center of the screen is completely full before activating it. And for those of you that play with gyro on, it could also be beneficial if you have gyro on and just tilt your screen slightly to the left just to make sure that the screen is completely full. This will be typically helpful, especially if you don't have a full screen yet, but you want the Tsums to fall down as quick as possible into the position where you activate it, because by doing that, you'll save a little bit of time and also might even be able to activate the ability quicker. By doing that, you might charge up the second ability faster as well. So those are some things to consider when you are using Joe Gardner. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you guys is a side-by-side comparison of skill level 4, 5, and 6's ability activated at the same time By looking at these abilities activated at the same time, you'll be able to compare the 3 of them and see if it's worth it to invest in it to make Joe Gardner a higher skill level or not. So let's get right into that. This is Joe Gardner's ability activated at the same time at full speed. He will come out and play some notes and clear a diagonal bar. But let me slow this down, because slowing it down you'll be able to see the clear areas and comparing the differences will be easier. So here it is, and the diagonal line is where essentially his keyboard is. If you look at skill level 6, you could clearly tell that it's a lot more clear as compared to skill level 4. Skill level 4 and 5 looks relatively similar, and if you really count the rows between skill level 4, 5, and 6, you could tell that skill level 4, you get about 3 to 4 rows, sometimes you get 5, but it's very rare you get 5. There are some areas that only get 3 as well, and there's like, it's not that clear how many rows you get. But if you look at skill level 5, you clearly could tell that it's definitely going to be 5 or more for the most part, so it is a lot more. And at skill level 6, it's going to be anywhere between 6 to 7, and it almost looks like even the entire screen is cleared. That's not the case though. You can look at the very bottom, there are a couple of shadow zooms in there that don't get cleared, and in all 3 of these skill levels at the very bottom row, there are gaps and none of the zooms get popped. So at skill level 4, I got a chain of 32. Skill level 5, I got a chain of 35, so not too big of a difference there. And at skill level 6, I did get 40. All 3 of these I ended up with fantastic clears, which is expected for a skill level 4, 5, and 6 zooms. Keep in mind that on the entire screen there's only 45 zooms. So for skill level 6, I almost got a perfect clear, just with the exception of the 5 zooms that's at the very bottom row. So pretty good. Your results may vary as well. If you have a big zoom on the screen, that's going to add an additional 4 zooms to your chain, because those big zooms count technically as 5. So if you clear a big zoom, just add 4 to whatever numbers that you get, or subtract 4. That's what you would have got if you didn't clear any big zooms. So that's how you really determine what your true chain count is. Now I'm also going to fast forward the gameplay here to show you what I got at the very end for the coins. At skill level 4, I got 2,611 coins. At skill level 5, I got 3,594 coins. And finally, at skill level 6, I got 4,525 coins. So compared to 22, Joe Gardner definitely earns you a lot less coins. But however, Joe Gardner is also a lot easier to use and also a lot quicker. Joe Gardner's animation flies by very quickly, whereas 22's animation takes a little bit of time to get through. So for that reason, if you are looking for a zoom that you could play multiple times over and over again, and hearts is not a problem for you, then definitely Joe is a better option. I think that the coin savings there is really not worth it, and especially if you play with the 5-4 and coin boost on, you may get lucky, so definitely playing more games per minute is a lot better. So that's pretty much it for Joe Gardner at skill level 4, 5, and 6. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and found it informative, and if you do, please give this video a thumbs up, it will mean a lot to me. And if you would like to see more Tsum Tsum content just like this, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And as always, thank you so much for watching.